I did another double feature yesterday. Yeah. First up, Trap, M. Night Shyamalan's new film. It just came out this past weekend in the UK. And I was kind of intrigued by this film because I liked the sound of the premise of a serial killer and the daughter at this concert, which turns out to be a trap to catch him. And all the exits are being watched by the police. He's trying to figure out where to escape. It could have made for a pretty intense thriller. But M. Night Shyamalan, once again, takes a promising premise and just completely butchers it, no pun intended. It is full of awkward dialogue and strange camera placement. Like, every conversation that's a one-to-one conversation is filmed like this, where the camera is on the person's face and just switches between each camera and each person talking to the camera as if the camera is the other character, and I found that really awkward as well. It felt very amateur. But most of all, this plot is just riddled with illogic. There are things that Cooper does when he's sneaking about and trying to get intel on what they know about him, and he's sneaking backstage, and he just does things and he says things where you're just like, that wouldn't work. The film asks the audience to take a lot of leaps, and there's a difference between asking the audience to suspend disbelief and straight up insulting the intelligence of the audience. It happens to do that second one quite a few times because, again, just some of these choices are just so strange and baffling, and it's just like there's so much more interesting ways that they could have written this premise. And another thing as well, in the first half, there's extended scenes of Lady Raven just doing her performance on stage and Cooper and her daughter just watching her from the side or watching from the crowd or whatever. And it finally clicked in the end credits when I found out that Lady Raven is played by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, which I did not know prior to the film. And it just feels like this entire thing was done purely so M. Night Shyamalan could put his daughter in a film as a pop star and give her some kind of platform to hopefully launch some kind of career, I guess, if she doesn't have one already. And that is nailed home once the concert finishes. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen Trap. The concert finishes and she becomes pretty much the main hero of the film in trying to get Cooper caught by the police. And I swear to God, this film took so damn long to end. There was a point where I thought, okay, it's wrapping up, let's put the jacket on, get ready to leave. But nope, it carries on for another 10 minutes. And then they do this pointless scene with Cooper in the limo. And then I was like, okay, it's finishing now. It goes on for another 10 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, not since Return of the King has a film taken so long to end, but obnoxiously so. In short, Trap was definitely not crispy. Next up, Borderlands. Yes, I went to go watch it. Why? Morbid curiosity, that's why. Such a big film with such a big IP and many A-list Hollywood stars, and it has an under 10% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I have to see for myself if it's really that bad. And is it that bad? Yeah. I've never played any of the Borderlands games, by the way, so my thoughts on this are purely as a film and not an adaptation of the game. And even watching it, it felt like somebody speedrunning one of the Borderlands games because it just rushes through the plot, giving no time to develop the story, develop the characters, slow down, appreciate the lore, appreciate the world building. It actually kind of makes me want to play the games because I was watching the film and thinking about it if it was a game that I was playing. So when Lilith first arrives on Pandora, I was like, okay, let's explore around this junkyard and see what little trinkets we can find, any bits of lore to learn more about this planet. But instead, she just monologues and says, so I arrived on the planet, talked to some scavengers, and saw some trouble up ahead, and I fought some people, and they just rushed through a very quick 5-second fight scene. And it's like I said, it's a speed run. They're just skipping through everything to get to the end. It's just a big assault on the senses. Every action scene and chase scene is just special effects and explosions and gunshots and bullets chucked on the screen just cause. The characters range from either underdeveloped, not terribly interesting, and sometimes kind of annoying. I'm looking at you, Tiny Tina. The actors have no chemistry with each other. Kevin Hart, even as someone who hasn't played the games, I can tell that he's miscast as this character. 98% of the dialogue is pure exposition. The characters explaining who they are, where they come from, what they want to do, where they need to go, who they need to speak to, what MacGuffin they need to find, blah blah blah, blee blee blah. Blah 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 blee blee blee. The twist is also really obvious, and spoilers for, well, given the opening weekend, not a lot of people went to go watch this film, so I'm presuming you don't care about spoilers. But yeah, Tiny Tina is supposedly the special person who can unlock the vault because she's dancing around going, I'm the special one! And then Lilith finds a MacGuffin because she senses it, and you're like, okay, so she's the special one. If you've played the games, you probably know that already. I talked to my friends who have played the games and love the games, and they confirmed all this lore and whatnot, so that's not going to be a surprise to you if you've played the game. And the thing I found really funny is that Lilith opens the vault, gets the powers, she's flying around doing her thing, and then she takes the bad guy into the vault. They're in there for 45 seconds, kills the bad guy, there's all the floating rocks, the super advanced technology and whatnot. And then in the very next scene, they're back in the main city of Pandora, whatever it's called, and the fireworks are going off, people are celebrating, getting drunk, and Lilith says, that sounds like peace. And I'm like, how exactly did you achieve peace by unlocking the vault? What specifically did you do to bring peace to this planet? I think the message of Borderlands is, if you want to achieve peace in the world, just light off some fireworks. That'll just sort everybody right out. Yeah, this film was a shit show. So that's what I did with my Tuesday. What did you do with yours?